He broke the world record in his very first track and field competition, sprinting 100 yards in just 9.3 seconds. But the judges forcibly changed his time to 9.4 seconds, claiming that a black man wasn't worthy of breaking a white man's record. His coach angrily confronted the officials.
What's the problem? You calm down. You understand? I'm not gonna calm down till you come here with the higher and give us the record.
Seeing the tense standoff, he could only pull his coach away helplessly, then quietly made his way to the long jump area. From an official, he learned that the current world long jump record was 7.82 meters. He borrowed a handkerchief, placed it at the mark of the world record, then walked to the starting line, run up, accelerated, and leaped 7.85 meters.
Ladies and gentlemen, we have a new world record.
This time, the judges could no longer deny it. His coach swelled with pride, and the crowd gave him a warm round of applause. Next was the 200-yard sprint. He broke another world record with a time of 20.3 seconds. People stood and cheered for him, but he wasn't finished yet. In the 220-yard hurdles, he set yet another world record with 22.6 seconds. Now the entire stadium erupted in frenzy. In just 45 minutes, he had rewritten 3 world records. Simply unbelievable. Yet what was even more astonishing was that this was a true story from 1936. His name was Jesse Owens, and this dazzling solo performance was merely the tip of the iceberg of his legendary life. Owens had been passionate about sports since childhood. To pursue his athletic dreams, he studied diligently and persistently, finally enrolling at Ohio State University at age 19. It should have been a joyous occasion, but his father wore a worried expression. His father knew all too well that in an era divided by skin color, even as a college student, a black man would struggle to earn respect. Sure enough, on his first day, Owens faced discrimination from white students. Even for daily showers, black students had to wait until white students were done. Faced with such injustice, Owens could only endure silently. After all, this opportunity hadn't come easily. It wasn't until one man appeared that his fate began to change. Larry Snyder had been a track and field star in his day. After retiring, he returned to his alma mater as a coach. While reviewing newcomer profiles, he noticed Owens not only excelled in the long jump, but was also remarkably fast in sprinting. Snyder took Owens to the training ground. To his surprise, in his first sprint test, Owens clocked an astonishing 10.4 seconds. Snyder was thrilled as if he'd found a treasure, but his colleague beside him was unimpressed. That's a full second slower than the world record. What's there to be excited about?
Frank Wyckoff runs 100 yards in 9.4. Kid just ran 100 meters.
100 meters is nearly 10 meters longer than 100 yards. Converted, Owens' actual speed was close to the world record. With proper training, he could break the world record soon. Later, the coach called Owens into his office. Owens expected praise, but instead received criticism.
Records don't mean shit. You know what matters? Medals. Some kid come out of nowhere and snatch a record from you like that. But a gold medal, that's yours. Of life.
Owens had no rebuttal. Snyder continued, "If you train my way, I promise you'll stand on the highest podium." At the Berlin Olympics 28 months from now, competing in the Olympics was a distant dream for Owens. From then on, they began a rigorous training regimen. Snyder first used weight training to strengthen Owens' physique, then used high knee drills to adjust his stride, and finally employed interval running to boost his explosiveness. Each drill was repeated thousands of times, until it became muscle memory. Under this devilish training, Owens' speed improved daily, but along with it came more humiliation and mockery. Snyder saw it all. To teach Owens to block out the noise, he even provoked conflicts with every white person present.
You get your head turned by a few gorillas in warm-up pads here at home? How you gonna hold up the mission?
Who the hell's he calling gorillas?
Coach Snyder. Hey, look at me.
Coach Snyder.
A lot of people show up for the Big Ten meeting. Coach Snyder! Not all of you gonna be on our side. You understand what I'm saying? Do you?
Yeah. But just before the Big Ten track and field championships, Owens accidentally injured his leg. Snyder urged him to withdraw and rest, but Owens insisted on competing. Seeing his determined gaze, Snyder reluctantly agreed. When Owens appeared on the 100-yard track, insults rained down from the stands, telling him to get off. But Owens remembered Snyder's advice, blocked out all the noise, and focused entirely on the race. As the starting pistol fired, he shot off like a wild horse, racing toward the finish line, and easily winning with a time of 9.4 seconds. Then, with his extraordinary talent, he broke world records in the long jump, 200-yard sprint, and hurdles, becoming a household name in sports. But just as Owens was preparing for the Olympics, the National Association for the Advancement of Colored People approached him. They solemnly advised Owens not to participate in the Nazi-hosted Olympics. At that time, Hitler was vigorously implementing racist policies, persecuting Jews and black people alike. The association hoped Owens would lead a boycott, using his refusal to compete to show the world the black community's resolve against discrimination. On one side was his long-held Olympic dream, on the other were the earnest hopes of his people. Owens found himself torn. Under immense pressure, he chose to withdraw from the Olympics. When Snyder learned the news, he was furious.
You got a chance to be a part of history and you're gonna walk away from it, huh? Throw it away?
Look, I got people looking at me for an example.
As a white man, Snyder could afford not to care. But for Owens, this wasn't just a competition, it was a high-stakes gamble. On his shoulders rested the dignity of the entire black community. Winning could rewrite history, but losing would shame his people forever. The next day, Snyder approached Owens again, but this time he didn't try to persuade him. Instead, he proposed a compromise. Let Owens compete in the trials to qualify first. Owens took his advice. In the subsequent trials, with stunning performances, he secured spots in the 100-meter and 200-meter sprints, and the long jump. Yet when reporters asked if he would participate in the Olympics, he fell silent. Just as Owens was lost in doubt, his wife's words enlightened him.
You was put here to run. Don't listen to any of them. Listen to you. All right.
With this strength, Owens boarded a ship to Berlin. But sadly, the Olympic Committee refused to let Snyder accompany him, citing insufficient credentials. Reluctantly, Snyder bought his own ticket. He didn't want to miss Owens making history. However, the new coach's training methods completely disrupted the rhythm he and Snyder had developed over years. Owens begged the team leader to let Snyder coach him, but the leader refused, saying Snyder wasn't an official Olympic coach.
Well, I hope you know all the words to the German national anthem, because you'll be hearing it every time one of those Nazis win a medal I would have won.
Faced with Owens' firm stance, the leader eventually gave in. In August 1936, the Berlin Olympics officially commenced. Owens stepped into the stadium, awestruck. He had never seen such a grand spectacle. Tens of thousands of seats were filled. The Nazi leader stood at the prime viewing platform, and cheers rolled in like waves. But when he stood on the 100-meter track, an immense power surged within him. As the starting pistol fired, he shot off like a black lightning bolt, streaking toward the finish line, and winning his first gold medal with a time of 10.3 seconds. The stadium erupted in thunderous applause. Seeing this, Hitler's face darkened. Hosting the Olympics was meant to showcase national strength and promote racial superiority. Yet this black man had poured cold water on their plans. However, when Owens arrived for the long jump qualifiers, he kept making mistakes. His first jump was ruled a foul for habitually checking the runway. His second jump was invalidated for stepping over the line. If he missed his third attempt, he would be eliminated from the finals. Just then, a white man walked onto the field. It was Luz Long, Europe's dominant long jumper. Long placed a towel at the takeoff point to mark it for Owens. With his help, Owens made his final jump, successfully qualifying for the finals. In the finals, his opponent was none other than Luz Long. Long's first jump, 7.54 meters. Then Owens' first jump, 7.74 meters. Snyder felt immensely relieved. Next was Long's second jump, 7.87 meters. A new record was born. The spectators looked on in shock, and Nazi officials smiled with satisfaction. Then came Owens' second jump, 7.94 meters. The record was broken again. The entire crowd stood and cheered for him. Now everyone focused on Long's third jump, hoping he could create another miracle. But he made a mistake. This meant Owens had already won the gold. Out of respect for his opponent, Owens decided to take his third jump. Under the gaze of the entire stadium, Owens sprinted with all his might. 8.06 meters. Once again, he shattered the world record, and the crowd went wild. Cheers and exclamations intertwined, sweeping through the arena. Long congratulated Owens, and arm in arm, they jogged a victory lap together. In that moment, it seems that there are no longer any differences in nationality or skin color, leaving only a shared pursuit of sportsmanship. Next was the 200-meter sprint. The world watched eagerly to see if Owens could make history. Owens' final time was 20.7 seconds. He had succeeded. His father clenched his fists tightly, proud of his son, and the hundreds of thousands of German spectators were utterly captivated by Owens' stunning performance. They chanted in unison. The Nazi leader stormed off in anger. In the final 4x 100-meter relay, the Nazis, to demoralize the American team, forcibly disqualified 2 Jewish athletes. Reluctantly, Owens was substituted in. Unexpectedly, not only did he not hold the team back, but he also built a huge lead for his teammates. In the end, they won the team gold, adding one more gold to Owens' tally. It was simply unbelievable. This black man from the American slums used speed to shatter the lies of racial superiority, sweeping 4 gold medals in a single Olympics. This was not only a great achievement in sports history, but it was also a fatal blow against racial divisions. Sometimes silent endurance only allows injustice to spread. Only by bravely rising up to resist can we write a magnificent chapter for equality.